my name is Megan Giefer. I'm one of the naturalists here at Beaver Creek Reserve, giving you another episode of Butterfly House Tours. So last week's episode was about a really familiar face, the monarch butterfly, one that we see flying around all the time. Well, this week's episode is going to be about a white moth that is flying around here in our butterfly house. But wait, do we have moths here in the butterfly house? No, I didn't think so. So this week's episode is going to be about a couple beautiful white butterflies that we have here flying around in the house, and they actually get called moths a lot. So let's learn about these beautiful butterflies that we have here in the house. So let's go. So before we talk about our beautiful white butterflies that we have here in the house, we're going to talk about the differences that we have between moths and butterflies. And so let's talk about some of the ones that we can tell the differences between. So the first difference we're going to talk about between moths and butterfly differences is when these two are at rest. And so when a moth is at rest, like sitting on a plant or in a tree, their wings are back just like this and they're more spread apart. And what I think it looks like is a jet taking off. So with a butterfly, when they're at rest, like as we said, on a plant or in a tree, their wings are up just like this and they have them together. So another difference between moths and butterflies are right up here. It's their antenna. And so butterflies' antenna are really thin all the way till they get to the top, and they look like clubs. So a lot of us think that they look like golf clubs. So now with moths, their antenna look like fuzzy feathers just like this. And a moth's antenna are usually sticking straight out, while the butterflies are sticking straight up. So the next difference we're going to be talking about between the moth and the butterfly is their pupa stage. And so the pupa stage is the third stage all these critters go through in their life cycle. And so if you look right up here, we have lots of monarch butterfly chrysalises, and we also have a black swallowtail chrysalis right here. And the chrysalises are usually made for the butterflies. They're usually part of their body. So the pupa stage a moth goes through is called its cocoon. So it's different from the chrysalis. So the cocoon, the moth actually will spin some silk around itself, kind of like you hanging out in a blanket, wrapping a blanket around yourself. And they'll spin that silk, and as you can see underneath our gazebo, we have lots of cocoons hanging around down here. So now that we learned the differences between moths and butterflies, well, let's learn about those two white butterflies living in our butterfly house. So come follow me. So here we have our very similar but very different looking butterflies. So right over here is the mustard white. So the mustard white you can see is just all white. And our cabbage white has some black markings on it. And so these look very similar. So a way that we tell the difference between the two is, like we said, this one has darker markings. So these darker markings also help us tell the difference between the male and the female of a cabbage white. And so as you can see right here, we're looking at a female cabbage white because she has two dots right here, and she has darker markings on the sides. And so a male cabbage white will just have one dot here, and it'll be very light markings on the sides of their wings. So our mustard white is native to here, to the US, and they also eat native plants. Unlike our cabbage white over here, our cabbage white is not native to the United States, and they don't really eat plants that our native butterfly eats. They actually eat more vegetables like what we do. So kale, broccoli, cabbage, just like that. So as you can see right here, we have a little cabbage white caterpillar making his way around our gazebo here in the butterfly house. But these are our caterpillars that we have. They are bright green. So why would they be bright green? Let's think. Well, I think it's because they like to camouflage. If you think, kale, cabbage, broccoli is all this color. So this is a great way for them to blend in to their diet. So our cabbage white butterfly or caterpillar's host plant, so their diet consists of cabbage, kale, broccoli. So as you can see over here, we have some kind of luscious looking cabbage, and if you look close, there's kind of these little green dots that are all around here. Well, these are our poops that we have on here from our cabbage white, but we're not going to say that word today because we're scientists, so we're going to use the term frass. That's the term we're going to use for kind of our droppings from our caterpillars. So as you can see right over here, our cabbage, you can't even tell it's there. That's because our cabbage white caterpillars have been just chowing down on this, making our cabbage here skeletons. So the pupa stage of our cabbage white butterfly is right here. So as you can see, we have our chrysalis right here. It's bright green, just like how our caterpillar was. And so looking around, we actually have a ton of these chrysalises around here. I'm counting 4 right on this area. So our caterpillars, after they were done eating our cabbage down here, they crawled up our butterfly net on these metal frames, and that's where they created their chrysalis. And so an area for all of us to see. Hopefully you enjoyed this video about the 2 white butterflies flying around here in our butterfly house and maybe in your backyard. Join us next week for our episode about black swallowtails. Thank you. See you later.
Hi, I'm Eric Keisler, Executive Director from Beaver Creek Reserve. Thanks for watching this great educational video from our staff. To find out more information like this and others, check out our website at beavercreekreserve.org. You can also support us by being a member or donating to our endowment campaign, which is supporting Beaver Creek through this COVID-19 crisis. Thank you. We appreciate your time.